Okay, so you guys remember what the sine graph looked like? It went from 1 to -1, and where did it start at? 0, and it went, starting at 0, it went up. You guys remember that? Okay, what was the period? 2 pi. So when we did it, we counted by like half a pi, 1 pi, 3/2 pi. And so it went to the top, to the middle, to the bottom, to the middle, to the top. Just keeps doing that. What's the amplitude? 1. Okay, the amplitude, remember, is the number right here. If there's no number right there, it's a 1. Okay, what's the period?
How far it goes left to right.
Right. How far before it repeats itself? It'd be 2 pi. Okay, what happens if I put a 2 in front? Twice as tall. So it gets tall, going up and down. So the amplitude is now 2. Okay, what happens if I put the 2 right here?
Other word is 2. Or
Yeah.
like it goes to 2.
No.
Horizontal.
Everything happens, horizontal compression. Everything happens twice as fast. So instead of the period being 2 pi, it's 2 pi divided by 2. So you always do the 2 pi divided by this to find the new period. So everything happens twice as fast. It looks like this. I know that's kind of a mess, but it goes through its period really quickly. Instead of way out here. What happens if we throw a negative in front?
So it goes down first instead of
Flips upside down. So instead of going up right here, it'd be like going down right here. Got it? That was mostly it. Didn't seem like much, but that's, maybe I didn't lay it out well enough, but that's what it was. Kind of looks like a mess once I look back on it, but all right. Let's see how we do. Oh, what did cosine look like? I didn't mention that yet. Starts at the top, like right here. So it goes middle, bottom, middle, top, like that. All right, anyways. 15. Let's get some graph paper out here. You guys gonna be able to fit all these on the graph paper?
Good
I
question.
don't think the other class complained about it, so I don't know. 15. K of x equals -1/2 sine of equals negative sine 1/2 x. Did I copy it right? Yes. Okay. What is the amplitude? This is part of the question. It is 1. There's an invisible 1 right there. The negative doesn't really affect the amplitude. What is the period? It's going to be 2 pi divided by 1/2. No. When you divide by 1/2, what happens is it actually flips and multiplies. So it's actually like times 2. So it's 4 pi. Everything happens half as fast, so that means the period gets doubled. Okay, so we're going to use that info, mostly the amplitude and the period, to draw our graph here. Okay, the amplitude is 1. So what I'm going to do, it doesn't really matter where you put the 1 at. I like to put it a little bit higher so the graph isn't as squished. But you don't have to. You don't have to do that. But okay, the period is 4. Do you guys remember how I did it? 4 pi, sorry. How I did it yesterday, I kind of spread these out and split it into 4. And I put the period over here, 4 pi. So if this is 4 pi, what would these guys be? Well, this would be 1/4 of 4 pi, which is 1 pi. So basically we're counting by pi's here. So it's 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. Okay, what is this? Are you guys caught up with me? What does a sine graph look like? Through the middle going up, but since it's negative sign, it's going to go down. So I'm just going to put some dots. So going down, so it's at the bottom, back to the middle, to the top, back to the middle. I feel the cool breeze of air. Maybe I should do this up.
Nick.
Feels so much better right here.
Thanks, Mr. Drummer, for
Does it, would it come on automatically or do you have to switch it?
I can turn it down. I turned our temperature down and I think it'll come on automatic.
Turn the temperature.
I just turned the temperature down.
Yeah, probably. I got a old one.
What?
No, you turn the thermostat down.
I get it now.
He was like, what?
I was confused a second ago. I thought you meant something else.
What? What'd you say? Nothing, guys.
Nothing nice.
How dare you, Katie? How dare you? I liked your improv last night.
Thanks.
Wait, what?
I can't remember what line. They had to wait on the guy because he forgot he was in the scene or something.
He didn't forget his shirt was unbuttoned and he didn't have an undershirt on either, so he came on stage like holding his shirt closed.
Yeah, but why didn't he have a shirt on?
Because there's a quick change in there and nobody helped him quick change and I didn't know that he
His
was
quick change
changing,
wasn't
so
that
I went on
quick.
stage and they turned on the lights.
Yeah. Anyway,
Was it good improv? Huh? Was it good improv?
it was
Was
not.
it good improv?
It wasn't bad. I mean, I could tell this is definitely not a line in the play. Why did you just do that? Oh, you opened it.
Oh, dang it!
What are you doing?
What? Why are you getting mad at me?
I thought you just closed it for some reason.
No.
I was like, no. Now we'll see if we can freeze Abby out. Well, I don't remember the lines, but I remember like Rachel had her hair cut in the play to like sell her
Rachel
hair.
said the word sketchy, which is what it.
Yeah, she said the place she went to get her haircut was sketchy. She's like, that's not 1850s.
Did you say it will go to someplace good? Probably.
Yeah, like there's 3 girls that each said something. So,
It's my one chance to have a funny line.
yeah, her role was not funny.
Earlier,
She did a lot of crying.
You were still funny. I was? Caleb said that.
That's all you care about.
I like playing funny roles. Like, I feel satisfied whenever I hear the crowd laugh
Yeah.
at something I'm doing.
Lauren's role was pretty funny, and she nailed it also.
That's who you wanted to be, right? That's who I thought I would be, but.
So cost.
Rachel was pretty funny.
Cost. Where does cost start from? Does it start from the middle or top?
Starts at the top. Costs.
Cost. COS.
Okay, are we done with that one? Probably. I've been jabbing for a long time. Jabbering. Okay. On 17, these are not graphs. We just have to write. I guess I can probably pause this now. There's a lot of downtime in the video.
They'll appreciate it.
Write a function of the form.
You can fast forward now. We're supposed to write the function ourselves. Does 17 look more like a sine function or a cosine function?
Sine.
Looks like a sine. That's what a sine looks like. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave a little blank in front of the sine in case we need to change the amplitude. And I'm going to leave a blank in front of the x in case we need to change because of the period. So what is the amplitude on number 17? How high is it going? 4. So I'm just going to put a 4 right there. It's going up 4 and down 4 from the middle. Okay, what is the period of number 17? It's 2 pi, which is normal. Okay, so if it's a normal 2 pi period, I don't really need anything in front of the x. But basically what you do is you take 2 pi, your normal period, you divide it by the actual period, and that will give you the number that's supposed to go right here. Okay, but in this case the number is 1, so we don't, if the period is 2 pi, you don't have to fix anything, it's just...
How do you figure out the period?
The period was how far does the graph get before it starts repeating itself. So on 17 at 0, it's going up through the graph, and once you get over to 2 pi, it's going up through the graph again. So that's how far it gets before it repeats itself. So 2 pi is the period. Okay, 19. I was feeling better already. Does 19 look more like a sine or a cosine function?
Coach.
Looks more like a cosine because in the middle it's at the top of its wave or whatever. So I'll put cosine. The amplitude is what? How high is it going up? 1/2. 1/2. The period is what? So it goes from, right, yeah, he's right. It's going from the top of the hill to the top of the hill, a pi over. So what, you don't put pi right here. What you put right here is you do 2 pi normal period divided by the actual period, and that would be a 2.
This is
Okay, there's just a little formula to remember. It's 2 pi divided by the period equals that number.
I'm gonna write that down.
Thank you, that feels much better. Did you remember? Oh. You can, these are the same as these. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there's more blanks, but you can see. Like you can say, like you need that, and this thing. But see if I just put an extra there, it's just like
So on 18, would it be negative?
right, 18 looks like a negative what? Looks like a negative cosine. Yeah, 18 is an upside down cosine. Alright, you guys ready for 21? We're actually getting pretty close to done here.
Yippee!
Feels good, doesn't it? Okay, 21 says, is 21 the same as like 15? It's just, I don't know what the difference is at the same time. Y equals sine of 3x. Okay, what's the amplitude going to be? 1. What's the period going to be? 2 pi divided by this. 2 pi divided by 3. Doesn't really simplify very well, so it's just like 2/3 pi. Okay, now really it's just setting it up. That's the tricky part. The amplitude is 1, so I'm just going to do the 1 and -1 thing. Okay, and then I'm going to split it up into fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the fourth mark, I'm going to put my period, 2 pi over 3. Okay, this is kind of the tricky part. How do I figure out what goes on the first mark? The first mark is only 1/4 of this. You guys get it? So you can do times 1/4 or divided by 4, either way. 2 pi over 3 times a fourth is pi over 6, which is like 1/6 pi.
Yeah.
Okay, if this is 1/6 pi, then basically we're counting by sixths. technically correct. So this is 1 pi over 6. This would be 2 pi over 6, which will reduce. This will be 3 pi over 6, which will also reduce. So this reduces to pi over 3 and half a pi over 2. That's kind of the hard part.
This is,
So I divided the period by 4 to get my first mark, and then I started counting by pi over 6's. 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, and then I reduced. Okay, that was the hard part. The easy part is actually graphing. This one was, I kind of forgot, what was this one? No, it's a sine function. So where are we starting? Middle, we're going to the top. So yeah, top, middle, bottom, middle. The directions does say just go through one cycle. I'm gonna go ahead and go backwards a little bit though. Let's call that good. Does it seem as bad as yesterday?
no.
Yeah.
No.
No. I didn't say does it seem easy. It doesn't seem as bad as yesterday. Okay, 23, negative 4 cosine. All right. Oh, this might not be tall enough.
Scrolling.
I'm out of room. See if that fits in there. 1, 2, 3. Katie, fired. Okay, what's the amplitude? That right there, 4. What's the period?
4.
2 pi divided by 1/2. We had that earlier, remember? 2 pi divided by 1/2 is 4 pi. 4 pi is kind of an easy one to mark out because if the fourth mark is 4 pi, that means each of our mark represents a pi. So it'll just be 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi. And if the amplitude is 4, I need to go up to 4. Whoopsie. Come on. Do it. I need to go up to 4 and down, oh yeah, down to negative 4.
You start at negative 4.
Okay, yeah, it's a cosine which starts at the top, but it's a negative cosine, so it's going to be upside down. So we're actually going to start at the bottom, and then go middle, top, middle, bottom. Are you cold yet, Abby? Is it hitting you? You still got your hoodie on. We can maybe turn it slightly. Like barely. Maybe get out somewhere. Using another piece of paper, I'm going to start calling you Leo. Leo, you should be offended by that. Ava Belch. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you're waving at me. Oh, she run away, Ava. Okay. Oh, we got one left. I do anyway. You guys got a lot left.
Thanks.
Very comforting.
Really can tell you care.
25. Y equals negative 2 sine of 6x. Okay, what is the amplitude? 2 right there. What is the period? 2 pi divided by 6, which reduces to pi over 3. So the amplitude is 2. I guess I'll just put a normal 2 in there. Pi over 3. So I'm going to make my fourth mark pi over 3. How do I find my first mark? Times a fourth, which would be 1/12 pi, or pi over 12. So this would be 2 pi over 12 and 3 pi over 12, but they both reduce. Yeah. Okay, that's the hard part. Kind of missed something. Did you notice? Okay, this is a negative sign. So where am I starting and where am I heading?
Go down.
0, 0 going down. So bottom, middle, top, middle. This one would be top over here. Yeah, tons of time.
2 pi over